talking about holiday, I didn't notice it that much because missionaries, we didn't have holidays, so it's kind of the same, even when there's holiday. But I believe they have some days that they remember those who gained the freedom for the country, and I bet Nelson Mandela's birthday will be one of them, because there's even a day that they call 67 minutes or 67 seconds that you just do service for someone for 63 seconds or something, or 60 seconds or something. I can't remember. But with the culture of the, they are in the Western and the Eastern Cape, the tribe that is dominant over there is the Xhosa. Okay, and we have some Zulus over there, and the Xhosa historically, emerged from the Zulu tribe. So the Xhosa and the Zulu kind of sound similar. If you can speak Xhosa, you can understand Zulu. You can speak Zulu, it's the other way around. So there is a history, or there is this thing that this famous king called Shaka Zulu, okay, was the king over the Zulus, and there was war. He was a stout man, stout in nature, like Nephi in the Book of Mormon, So, so he was their, the leader of the warriors and their king, and he cannot, like people that are tall, that they can fight his enemies. So there is, the history that he was killing those that are short. If you are short and you cannot fight, then you will be killed. So the horses were the short guys that were scared to be, or were afraid they will be killed. So they ran away from the Zulu and then established themselves in the Eastern Cape and kind of, began to change their language a little bit, so they will not be identified, so they will not be killed. So that's, according to what I heard in South Africa, that's where the Xhosa, is kind of a sub, tribe from the Zulu, because they were kind of short, but you will find, nowadays the Xhosas are tall. They are as tall as the Zulus. They are not worse anymore, but I think they are kind of, tribe related, culture, and they have similar cultures, And what is about their culture? Yeah, one other culture that is kind of, prevent people from progressing. Culture always, many a times, some aspect of culture contradict the gospel culture. And one of them is, makes it hard for your return missionaries and single adults to get married, and that is it's called lobola, and that's where the parents of the young woman will demand some certain amount of money or certain amount of things, like you have to bring in cow, maybe 3 cows, depending on how valuable the woman is, and you have to pay for all these things before you can, you will be allowed to get married to that lady. So this prevents many of the men from getting married, because many of them can't afford, and that's not the gospel way. Although it's a culture that the South Africans cherish, but if we can get rid of that, I think the whole purpose of the gospel is to get married, establish families, and multiply, bring Heavenly Father's spirit children on earth. So if there is this that's preventing people from getting married, if they don't get married, they might end up, breaking God's commandment as well. So it's kind of one of the, aspect of the culture that I may dislike. I wouldn't know how I will make it. I probably might decide not to get married at all if I was in Xhosa or Zulu, because I can't make it. I can't make that much. So that's one of the culture that's not good. I'm not discouraging the culture, but that's one of the aspects. And another aspect is also, you guys can only be circumcised when they are adults, okay, and they have to go to the bush, okay. So if you haven't been circumcised, you haven't been to the bush, they call you koi koi. So that's what they say it in the Xhosa language. And it's something that they cherish it a lot, because they think as a man you have to go through pains. So it's very painful, because it's not done at the hospital. You are not treated well. You are not given enough food to eat, because they want you to experience some pains, so you will know that you are a man. So when you come out from being circumcised, they hail you, they meet you, and then they throw a party for you, and now you are a man, and then you are a boss when you walk in the community, and everyone sees you. Everyone, you have these girls coming to you because you have been to the bush and you have experienced some pains. So I think it prepares you for life, as they think, prepares you for the hardship that you face in life, if you are able to endure that pain. And many of them, some of them die from going into the bush. So it's kind of one aspect also that is. But beside that, South Africa has rich culture. South Africa, they are loving people. As I said, even if they don't have much, you could see that this person, that's the only thing, that's the only food he and his family, have. But they are always willing to share with the missionaries and to share with the members. So I love that part of their culture, this kind of a sharing culture, something that they do have.